everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Molly. I'm the founder, owner, mostly only operator for Lacquer 22, a small nail polish company. But today we're going to talk about the makeup that I tried in 2025 and my thoughts on it. Here we go. Okay, so I looked through my shop app, which will have all of my like indie buys, and then my Ulta and Sephora apps as well, to see all the things that I tried new this year. These are not replacement item, or not like restock items, I guess. So if I use something up and bought a new one of it, it's not included. These are only new things. I only had 2 things total from Ulta and Sephora, so let's do those first. They're the more boring ones. The first thing that I have, this was my new Ulta item, is the Tartelette tubing mascara. I got influence from TikTok. I don't always want to wear lashes every day, and the days that I don't want to wear lashes, I'm always like, I hate my natural lashes. They're so short, and so I saw people on TikTok using a tubing mascara to like really lengthen their lashes, so I thought I'd give it a shot. This one's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to repurchase this exact one once I'm out of it. I think I'm going to try a few others to decide like which one do I actually really like, which one's the best. This one is really good though, and it's really nice to just kind of take off at night. I use those makeup remover like cloths, and so I just kind of soak those, and then I just kind of hold it on my eye for a minute, and it's so easy to take it off. It's not waterproof, so that part I don't love, especially on allergy days, but for the most part I'm quite a fan. Again, I'm not necessarily repurchasing this one right away, but I like the concept a lot. My one item from Sephora is the Rare Beauty Liquid Contour, and this is the shade Gentle, the lightest one. I've seen some people not like really love this, which is fine. Everybody has their own thoughts and feelings. I find this to be very similar in formula to the blushes. This one feels a little bit more like silicone-y and kind of slippy, which whatever. I feel like it stays well. I think it looks good and it blends out easy. It is very pigmented like the blushes are, so if you know that going into it, you're probably not going to overdo it. I don't know, I'm a fan of this. I pretty much only use Rare Beauty for my complexion products, so I wanted to give this a shot and I like it. We'll see, like, I mean, honestly, I'll probably will be repurchasing this if I run out this year. I'm about to be done with my Fenty cream bronzer, whatever, so I wanted to stay in the liquid cream form. I'm a fan. It does the job pretty well, and I think there's only a few shades, but they seem to cover a pretty good shade range. If you've tried that, let me know what your thoughts on it, because I've only seen negative things from influencers. Okay, so now that those boring ones are out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff. All of these are eyeshadow palettes going forward. This first one is from Simply Posh Cosmetics, and I'm counting this, but I'm pretty sure this was just a restock purchase. This is the Cozy Cabin palette. I love the color story in here so much. This is right up my alley. I do wish that there was a darker shade though to like fully deepen things up, but I mean, I just pull one from a different palette and it's fine. I think their mattes are really good. Their shimmers are really nice as well, and I like the shift in most of them, but they do kind of dry out faster than I would like. That being said, I use the Blend Bunny Noctilucent palette often, so I'm not like too worried about it. I care more about mattes anyway. But this color story is absolutely beautiful, and the pigmentation of the mattes is really nice, easy to work with. They blend out well and they stay on well as well. How many times can I say well? Next, I have 2 palettes from Gourmand Girls, and I'm still kind of going back and forth on the Nevermore palette, and then I was thinking about Bitten, decided not to, and I was thinking about, is it Trapped? Decided not to. So we'll kind of see like where I land with that. The first one is called Frozen Kiss. I really like their format. These palettes are quite small and like compact. They're very thin as well, which is really, really nice. But let's talk about the insides. They do shimmers really, really well. And I really like the blend of kind of mid-tones with the pastels, and having this dark shade is really nice as well to deepen things up, because I do prefer a fairly dark outer lid. I will say, on me, and I've said this before on this channel, I don't love pastels because a lot of times they don't show up on me. These, unfortunately, like especially these two, they just don't, which is fine. I have a way to work with them and I can use them to blend out the darker ones. I do just kind of wish, you know, sometimes it would be nice. But I really like the color story as a whole. Again, the shimmers are really, really nice. And I think this is a really good, like themed palette. I think the name and the colors go perfectly together. The second one that I have from them is called Call of the Sirens. And I really, really enjoy this palette. This is the same format as their, is it Peach Perfect palette? Something peach is in the name. Again, very thin palette and very compact. I like that there's not any like extra space. The palettes aren't very heavy. I just think they do packaging really well. The mattes in here are gorgeous. You can do kind of like a more neutral look and have it more warm or more cool with this gray up here. Obviously you can lean into the pinks, purples, or the blues. But I think having these kind of warmer toned shimmers is really, really nice and kind of different for a palette with this mermaid kind of theme. Quality's great as usual. Gourmand Girls is typically very good with that. I don't know, you can't really go wrong. I think they've done some really good things, and again, I'm still kind of on the fence of a couple. I'm just trying to be more mindful with what I buy, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't even need any of these. You know what I mean? So just trying to be more cautious. This next palette that I got, this is from DD Signature. This is the Broken Jewels palette, and I bought this after buying the Fearless Holiday from 2024. Love, 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 love that palette, so I figured let's try another one. This is the same quality, amazing, pigmented. The shimmers are beautiful. I like that this isn't like such an obvious color story, if that makes sense. There's a lot of mixing and matching that you can do with the colors and be creative. I really appreciate that. There's this dark black here and then a couple of other darker shades and midtone and light, and I feel like really just all of the bases have been covered with this. I think it's really, really beautiful. I'm kind of upset I didn't get their Festive Elegance palette because that looks gorgeous, but here we are. I'm not sure if they're restocking that or not. If you haven't tried DD Signature, highly recommend, especially some of their newer items. I'm not sure on their quality before they kind of, well, I guess before Fearless Holiday, I'm not sure of the quality, but at least since then, it's been really good. So if you see any color story that speaks to you, definitely try it. Huge fan so far. All right, the second to last brand that we have is Singe Beauty. I bought the two that were available when I bought this one. These are really, really nice, and I wasn't expecting to like them as much. I was a little nervous that it was like influencer brand, you know, we'll see what happens. But I'm really impressed. I like the layout of this a lot. I like that we have darks and midtones, and the shimmers are really pretty. I do believe she only said there's like two-ish, maybe like duochromes or special shades or whatever in each palette to keep the price down. That's fine with me. I appreciate that. I really love this yellow shade and I really love this mint shade as well. I think these colors are really nice to go together. And then after I show you this one, something that I really like, at least about these two, is that you have a red and blue palette, and then you have like an orange and green palette, if that makes sense. So I appreciate that you kind of have two full color stories in each. This Galactic Visitor is really nice. I love the depth that you can get, but also the brightness and the shimmers are really good as well. You can go more neutral if you want. You can go more blue or more green if you want. I think Galactic Visitor is really, really nice. And then Agate Temptation is also, again, really nice. I love the mix of greens in this one. You have a lime, you have an emerald, or two emeralds really. That one's more kind of grassy and mid-tone, whatever. But then these two olives up here, they're so gorgeous. So, so pretty. And then going down here, you have these two that are more red toned. So this matte here is more of a neutral, and then this one is definitely more in your face, which is fun. This yellow is gorgeous. This brown is perfect for like grounding anything that you do with this palette. Again, really pretty shimmers. I think these are really, really good. I decided not to get the, is it Paisley Hoot palette? Because that just seemed a little bit too neutral for me. So decided to pass, but she said that she's working on a fourth palette right now. So we'll see how that goes. I'm interested in one of the, like the more orangey powdered blush. But I had a no buy last year of not buying any blush, and I survived. So not positive if I'll get it or not. We'll see. All right, and we only have one more brand to talk about, and it's Blend Bunny, the love of my life. This one is called Beauty Below. So I bought this before I bought the Gourmand Call of Sirens. This one is a much deeper version of like the mermaid theming. I do think this is really nice. However, I am not a fan of the quad setup. I definitely prefer the rose, which I can reorganize if I want to, but I haven't decided if I'm going to or not. The greens over here are really nice. The blues are really, let me start over with that. I really like the colorful quads. The neutral ones are just like fine to me, which I don't love that I feel that way, but it's okay. Shimmers, gorgeous. This palette, however, is magnetic. There is a mirror in here, and it's heavy, okay? It's heavy. Saying how much I appreciate the Gourmand Girls lightweight palettes, this one is large, okay? We know magnetic kind of adds to that, so whatever. But I'm a fan of this palette. I think these purples are a little bit too similar. I would have like tweaked this just a little bit. I understand she wanted it to be a little deeper because of the theming, but I think we're kind of missing some depth variation. It's still a very gorgeous palette. It performs really well. I just would have altered the color story a little bit more. Okay, and this is the last item. This was the only thing that I bought for Black Friday. This is the Blend Bunny Rotten palette with, it was created with, her name's Microsoft on Instagram, and she is so artistic in a way I can't comprehend. This was a palette inspired by mold, and it's an all matte palette, and I think I love it. I only used it a handful of times so far, but I've had a good experience with every use. I really like the kind of like muted tones that there are. Like the top row up here, they're not very bright in your face. They're more pastel, but they're muted tones, and I personally love those. You have some grays, oranges, reds, pinks, blues. I just think this is really fun, and I think it's a little bit different. And I just, so far, really like it. I will say that this shade Whisper does not show up very well on me, but that's a skin tone and undertone problem, I guess. But that's fine. It is what it is. All the other like deeper mattes, absolutely beautiful. I'm quite a fan. I ended up not getting the Effervescent palette, I think, because I have Noctilucent and did not need essentially the same thing again. But I think that's gorgeous as well. If you don't have the Noctilucent palette, I highly recommend getting Effervescent because it's pretty much the same thing. They're topper shades. The only difference is that Effervescent is marketed as eyeshadow and Noctilucent was marketed as highlighters. I only use it as an eyeshadow though, so do with that what you will. But that is all of the new makeup that I tried in 2025, and like short reviews on them. Pretty much only hits, so that's good. When you're buying less, the likelihood is that you're gonna like it more. So thankfully we proved that right. Let me know if there is anything that I bought that you bought as well and that you're enjoying. I'll see you next time. Bye.